You're just the black maid who cleans my toilets. Get out of my son's room before I have you arrested. Anthony Sullivan, Mafia boss, the man who owned half of Westchester, didn't even look at Rose Smith when he said it. Rose had scrubbed his floors for 18 years, raised his boy Nicholas from age 5, stayed invisible like she was supposed to. Now, 18-year-old Nicholas was dying on the bed. Heart rate 201. Fever 106.7. 100 doctors surrounding him, 8 minutes before his organs failed. My daughter knows what's killing him. Your daughter? Dr. Morrison laughed. The girl serving champagne downstairs? We should ignore real doctors and listen to the help's kid? He turned to Anthony. We're wasting time with this woman. Rose collapsed to her knees, sobbing. The most powerful man in New York had 8 minutes to save his only son, and he was refusing to listen to the one person who knew how. 4 hours earlier, the Sullivan estate is a palace of contradictions. Upstairs at 6:30 in the evening, 60 guests in $3,000 suits and designer gowns gather in the conservatory. It's a 3,000-square-foot greenhouse with a 12-foot waterfall, 186 species of tropical plants imported from Brazil, Costa Rica, and Madagascar. Crystal chandeliers catch the setting sun. Champagne flows. This is Nicholas Sullivan's 18th birthday party, and his father has spared no expense. Anthony Sullivan moves through the crowd with the practiced ease of a man who owns every room he enters. His hand rests on his son's shoulder. For once, the hard lines around his mouth soften. Nicholas is his miracle, his redemption, the one good thing that came from 25 years of doing bad things. The gift sits on a pedestal near the waterfall. A Porsche 911 Carrera, midnight blue, $120,000. The bow is bigger than most people's monthly rent. Nicholas thanks his father. The words are genuine. The smile is not. What Nicholas wants isn't in a garage. It's on the crumpled paper in his pocket, a pencil sketch of a library he wants to build in the neighborhood where he grew up. But you don't tell a man like Anthony Sullivan that you'd rather give money away than spend it. Downstairs in the service kitchen, the air smells like caramelized onions and anxiety. Bella Smith wears a black and white serving uniform that costs $12 at a uniform supply store. Her hourly wage matches the cost of her outfit, $12 an hour plus tips. She's supposed to be home writing a thesis chapter on vector-borne tropical diseases. Instead, she's arranging canapes on silver trays because her mother asked for help, and you don't say no to Rose Smith when she asks for something. Rose never asks for anything. The refrigerator holds 300 canapes, 15 bottles of Cristal champagne at $500 each, and enough imported caviar to pay Bella's textbook bill for a semester. Bella counts. She always counts. Numbers ground her. Rose moves through the kitchen with the efficiency of 18 years. Every plate perfect, every glass spotless, every moment invisible. That's the rule. Stay invisible. Don't speak unless spoken to. Survive. You didn't have to come tonight, Rose says, arranging garnishes. I know you have that paper due Monday. It's fine, Mama. Bella checks her phone. 3 unread emails from her advisor, Dr. Ellen Moore. She silences the notifications. This family has been good to us, Rose continues. Her voice carries the weight of 18 years of gratitude. They pay on time. They don't ask questions. When your father died and we had nothing, Mr. Sullivan gave me this job. No experience, no references. Just faith. Bella nods. She's heard this story. She knows what it means. The Smiths owe the Sullivans. Debts like that don't disappear. At 7:15, Bella carries a tray of drinks into the conservatory. The humidity hits her first, then the smell, rich earth, orchids, something else, something wrong. She scans the room with the practiced eye of someone who sees what others miss. 5, maybe 6 potted plants near the south wall have wilting leaves. The soil around their bases is darker than it should be, waterlogged or disturbed. Nicholas Sullivan stands alone by the waterfall, studying a piece of paper. He looks up when Bella approaches. Champagne? She offers. He takes a glass, doesn't drink it. You're Rose's daughter. Yes, sir. The sir feels strange. He's only 4 years younger than her, but in this house there are rules. What's that? Bella gestures to the paper in his hand, then immediately regrets it. Not her place to ask. But Nicholas doesn't seem to mind. He unfolds it. It's a sketch. Beautiful. Detailed. A building with soaring arches and walls of glass. "That's beautiful," Bella says. "Is it a cathedral?" "A library." Nicholas's face lights up. "For the neighborhood where I grew up, before we moved here. A place where kids like I was could go after school, safe, quiet, full of books." For a moment, there are no uniforms. No $12 hourly wages versus $120,000 cars. Just two people who understand wanting something beyond reach. Then someone calls Nicholas's name. The moment breaks. He folds the sketch and returns to his father's side. Bella moves back toward the kitchen, but her eyes drift to those wilting plants again. 5 pots, 6, soil too dark, leaves curling at the edges. She didn't know it yet, but those wilting leaves would explain everything in 4 hours. At 8 o'clock, Bella finds a moment to breathe. She sits on the service stairs between the kitchen and the main floor, laptop balanced on her knees. It's a Dell from 2018, the case cracked, the E key sticking, but it works. She opens her email. Dr. Ellen Moore's message sits at the top. "Your thesis on tropical disease vectors shows remarkable insight. The committee wants to see Chapter 4 by Monday. You're doing important work, Bella. Don't lose momentum." Important work. Bella almost laughs. Right now, her important work involves serving champagne to people who will forget her face before dessert. But the email reminds her why she's here. Why she studies insects that most people would rather crush than understand. Why she reads field reports about parasites and vectors while other grad students are at bars. Her mind drifts back 6 years. Guatemala, summer of 2019. She was 16. The memory arrives in fragments. A rural clinic where she volunteered. Concrete walls, tin roof, the heat so thick you could taste it. She'd slept on a cot near the medicine supply, mosquito net draped over her like a wedding veil. When she woke up, her neck itched, a small red bump. She'd thought nothing of it. 48 hours later, the fever hit. 40.8 degrees Celsius, hallucinations. Her heart felt like it was trying to escape her chest. The local doctor, Dr. Ramirez, took one look at the bite mark and knew. Chagas disease, kissing bug, Trypanosoma cruzi parasite. Without treatment, 50% fatal, 6 weeks of benznidazole, 8 weeks of recovery, the whole summer gone. But also, the whole trajectory of her life changed. Because Bella decided that day that no one else should die from something so small, something so preventable, if only someone recognized it. "Sweetheart, you okay?" Rose appears at the top of the stairs. Her hands are damp from washing dishes. Her face carries the kind of exhaustion that 18 years of service etches into bone. "I'm fine, Mama, just checking email." "Just..." Rose sits beside her. The stairs creak under their combined weight. For a moment, neither speaks. Outside, laughter drifts from the conservatory. The sound of people who've never worried about $12 wages or cracked laptops. "You know," Rose says quietly, "when you were little, you used to bring me bugs. In jars. You'd label them with masking tape. Beetle, Saturday, moth, kitchen window." "I remember. I thought it was a phase. Kids like bugs." Rose's voice catches. "But you never stopped, even after Guatemala, even after you almost died. You just studied harder." "Someone has to, Mama." "I know." Rose takes Bella's hand. Her palm is calloused, warm. "But sometimes I wish you could just be young, go to parties, meet people, not spend Friday nights serving champagne in the house where your mother works." "This is where I need to be tonight." "Why?" Bella considers the question. "Because you asked. Because we owe them. Because 18 years of gratitude doesn't disappear because I have homework. But what she says is simpler. Because you need me." Rose squeezes her hand. "I do. I always have." 20 minutes later, at 8:35, Rose returns to the kitchen. But something nags at her, a memory, a conversation. 3 months ago, Bella came home from Cornell excited, animated. She'd been researching kissing bugs for her thesis. She'd pulled up articles, shown Rose photographs. "Mama, they're finding these insects in imported plants now. People are bringing them into the U.S. without knowing. It's dangerous." Rose had smiled, nodded, thought nothing of it. But now, carrying a tray of wine glasses to the second floor, Rose sees Nicholas Sullivan sitting at the piano. His right hand moves to his neck, scratches. The gesture is automatic, unconscious. Rose has seen him do this all week, thought it was mosquitoes, summer bites, nothing important. But now the pieces shift. The wilting plants in the conservatory, Bella's warning about imported tropical bugs, Nicholas scratching his neck. Rose stops at the top of the stairs. Her heart beats faster. She tells herself she's imagining things, that she's been listening to Bella talk about insects for too long. But mothers know. And something is very, very wrong. Rose had followed the rules for 18 years. Tonight, she'd have to choose silence or her daughter's voice. At 9:15, Nicholas Sullivan collapses. One moment, he's standing at the dining table, fork in hand, smiling at something a guest said. The next, his face goes pale, sweat beads on his forehead, his pupils dilate. "Dad," he says. The word comes out slurred. "I don't feel—" He doesn't finish. His legs buckle. He pitches forward. His head strikes the edge of the marble table. Blood pools immediately, a 2-inch gash above his left eyebrow. Someone screams. Chairs scrape. Anthony Sullivan is at his son's side in seconds, cradling Nicholas's head, his hands already red. "Call 911! Anthony's voice cuts through the chaos. "Now!" Dr. Morrison arrives at 9:23. He's the family physician, on call, always. He pushes through the crowd of panicked guests, medical bag already open. Nicholas is conscious, but barely. His eyes roll. His breathing comes in short, shallow gasps. Dr. Morrison works fast. Checks pupils, pulse, temperature. The thermometer reads 39.8 degrees Celsius, 103.6 Fahrenheit, and climbing. "Blood pressure?" Dr. Morrison barks to his assistant. 88/52, dangerously low. Dr. Morrison listens to Nicholas's heart. 156 beats per minute. The rhythm is wrong, erratic. He pulls back Nicholas's collar. The petechial rash is unmistakable. Small red dots spreading across the neck and chest, hemorrhaging under the skin. "Sepsis, Dr. Morrison announces. "We need IV antibiotics immediately. Vancomycin and ceftriaxone. Start pushing fluids." 2 nurses work to establish an IV line. The bags go up. 1, 2, 3. Anthony paces behind them, fists clenched, jaw tight. Every instinct in his body screams to do something, but there's nothing to do. Nothing but wait. By 9:30, Nicholas is in his bedroom. 6 doctors now. Specialists called from their Saturday dinners. Dr. Harrison, the head of emergency medicine at New York Presbyterian. Dr. Chen, an infectious disease expert. Dr. Martinez, a toxicologist. They work in coordinated chaos. Blood samples drawn, tests ordered, more IVs, more medications. But the fever keeps climbing. 40.2 degrees Celsius, 104.4 Fahrenheit. Downstairs in the kitchen, Rose is washing champagne glasses when she hears the commotion. She drops everything, runs, takes the service stairs 2 at a time. By the time she reaches the 3rd floor, she's breathless. Security tries to stop her. "Ma'am, you can't—" "That's Nicholas," Rose says. Her voice shakes. "I need to see—" But she doesn't push past them. She stands at the doorway, just outside, watching through the gap. Nicholas lies on the bed, pale, sweating. His neck— Rose's heart stops. There. On the right side of his neck, a small red mark, inflamed, exactly where he's been scratching all week. It's not a mosquito bite. Rose knows because 3 months ago, Bella showed her pictures, explained in detail. Kissing bugs bite at night, usually on the face or neck. The bites are small, 2 millimeters. But they're distinctive. They swell, and if the bug is infected— Rose's hands start shaking. She hears Dr. Morrison inside the room. "We're pushing broad-spectrum antibiotics. If it's bacterial sepsis, we should see improvement in 30 minutes. But Rose knows. Antibiotics won't work because this isn't bacterial. She stands there, frozen, torn. 18 years of rules, 18 years of staying invisible. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't offer opinions. Survive. But that's Nicholas in there. The boy she's watched grow up since he was 5 years old. The boy who says thank you when she brings him water. Who asks about her day. Who treats her like a person, not furniture. And Bella knows. Bella survived this. Rose's mind races. If she's wrong, they'll think she's crazy. They'll fire her. 18 years of employment gone. But if she's right and she stays silent, Nicholas dies. At 9:38, Rose makes her decision. She knocks on the door. Light, tentative. Everyone inside turns. Anthony Sullivan's face contorts with rage. "Rose, what are you doing here? Get out!" Rose's legs shake, but she stays. "Mr. Sullivan, I'm sorry to interrupt." "Rose, this is not the time!" "Sir!" Rose's voice cracks. My daughter might know what's wrong with Nicholas." The room goes silent. Every doctor, every nurse, every machine suddenly feels louder in the absence of voices. Dr. Morrison looks confused. Your daughter? Anthony steps forward. Rose, what the hell are you talking about? Rose swallows. Her mouth is dry. My daughter Bella. She's studying for her master's degree at Cornell. Entomology. She researches tropical insects and diseases they carry. Bugs? Anthony's voice rises. My son is dying and you're talking about bugs? Sir? Rose's eyes fill with tears, but her voice steadies. I have worked for you for 18 years. I have never asked you for anything, not once, but that mark on Nicholas's neck, the one he's been scratching. Bella told me about insects that bite like that. She said if someone got sick from it, regular antibiotics wouldn't work. She drops to her knees, right there, in front of everyone. 6 years ago, my daughter almost died from a bite just like that one. She survived. She knows what it is. Please, Mr. Sullivan, give her 2 minutes. If I'm wrong, you can fire me, but if I'm right... The room holds its breath. Anthony looks at Rose, this woman who has served his family faithfully, who has never caused trouble, never complained, never asked for anything. He looks at his son, dying. Dr. Morrison starts to protest. Mr. Sullivan, we're wasting time. Anthony holds up one hand. His voice, when it comes, is barely a whisper. 2 minutes. Rose, get your daughter. Now. The woman who'd been invisible for 18 years just became the most important person in the room. Rose runs, down 3 flights of stairs, through the kitchen. Her hands grip Bella's shoulders so hard it hurts. Nicholas is dying. Mr. Sullivan gave you 2 minutes. You have to help him. Mama believes in you. Bella's mind goes blank, then kicks into overdrive. What are his symptoms? Fever, high heart rate, rash on his neck, a bite mark, right where he's been scratching. Bella's blood runs cold. She knows those symptoms. She's lived those symptoms. They run together, mother and daughter, up the stairs, into a room full of people who see them as help, as background, as nothing. But when Bella enters Nicholas's room, she doesn't see their stares. She sees the patient. Dr. Morrison, she says, her voice shaking but clear. May I see his neck? Dr. Morrison looks at Anthony. Anthony nods once. Curt. Bella approaches the bed, kneels, gets close. The angle of the light is wrong. Can someone bring a lamp here? A nurse brings a desk lamp, aims it at Nicholas's neck. And there it is, a small red swelling 2 millimeters across, surrounded by petechiae. The hemorrhaging forms a subtle pattern, not random, radial, like a tiny explosion under the skin. Bella's hands don't shake anymore. This she knows. This she understands. Oh my God, she whispers. What? Anthony's voice is desperate. What is it? Bella stands, looks at Dr. Morrison, then at Anthony. Sir, this isn't sepsis. This is Chagas disease. The room erupts, multiple voices, disbelief. Chagas disease? Dr. Morrison shakes his head. That's a tropical illness. We're in New York. The odds are higher than you think, Bella interrupts. Her voice gains strength. Sir, I study tropical disease vectors at Cornell. Chagas is caused by a parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi. It's transmitted by kissing bugs, triatomine insects. She turns to Anthony. Your conservatory. The plants you imported from Costa Rica 3 months ago. Kissing bugs hide in plant shipments. They come out at night. They bite. Usually on the face or neck. Then they defecate near the wound. The parasite enters through mucous membranes or broken skin. Dr. Harrison crosses his arms. Even if that's true, how can you be certain? Because 6 years ago in Guatemala, a kissing bug almost killed me. The room goes quiet. Bella continues. I was 16, volunteering. I woke up with a bite on my neck. 48 hours later, my fever hit 40.8 degrees. My heart rate was 170 beats per minute. I had hallucinations, cardiac pain. The local doctor recognized it immediately. Chagas disease, acute phase. She points to Nicholas. His symptoms match exactly. The prolonged QT interval on his ECG, the myocarditis causing the rapid heart rate, the petechial rash, the fever that doesn't respond to antibiotics. This is parasitic, not bacterial. Dr. Morrison checks Nicholas's neck again, closer this time. My God, she's right. That's a triatomine bite pattern. Anthony grabs Bella's arm, not rough, but urgent. Can you save him? Bella meets his eyes. Not me, sir, but I know what medication he needs. And I know we have less than an hour to get it. The medication that could save him wasn't in any hospital in New York, but Bella knew where it was. Benznidazole? Bella says the word carefully. That's the antiparasitic medication Nicholas needs. 5 to 7 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day for 60 days. But right now, he needs the first dose in the next 60 minutes, or his heart will fail. Dr. Morrison is already reaching for his phone. I'll call New York Presbyterian Pharmacy. They won't have it. Bella shakes her head. Chagas is classified as a neglected tropical disease. It's not common enough in the U.S. for regular hospital pharmacies to stock benznidazole. You'd need to contact the CDC's emergency stockpile. Then we call CDC. Dr. Harrison pulls out his phone. That's a 3 to 4 hour process, Bella says. Her voice is steady now, confident. This is her territory. Paperwork, authorization, transport. Nicholas doesn't have 3 hours. Anthony slams his hand against the wall. The sound makes everyone flinch. Then what do we do? Bella closes her eyes, thinks, opens them. There's one other option. Columbia University Medical Center has a tropical disease research laboratory. They keep research-grade benznidazole for clinical trials. My thesis advisor works there, Dr. Ellen Moore. She might have access. Call her. Anthony's voice leaves no room for argument. Bella pulls out her phone. Her hands shake as she dials. It rings once, twice, 3 times. Pick up. Please pick up. Hello? Dr. Moore's voice is confused. Background noise suggests she's at a restaurant. Dr. Moore, this is Bella Smith. I'm so sorry to call on a Saturday night, but I need an emergency favor. Bella? A pause. Sounds of movement. Dr. Moore finding somewhere quiet. What's wrong? I have a patient, 18-year-old male, acute Chagas disease, myocarditis, fever of 41.1 degrees Celsius. He's in cardiac crisis. I need benznidazole. Do you have any in the research lab? Silence on the other end. Then Bella, are you serious? Chagas? In New York? Yes. Kissing bug. Imported plants. I've seen the bite mark. His symptoms match mine from Guatemala. He needs treatment now. More silence. We do have a research supply, but that's not FDA approved for emergency use without proper authorization, and Anthony grabs the phone from Bella's hand. This is Anthony Sullivan. I will sign any waiver, pay any amount, accept any legal responsibility. My son is dying. Save him. Dr. Moore's voice changes. Professional, clipped. I can be ready in 10 minutes, but I'm in Manhattan. It's a 35-minute drive to Westchester. Anthony snaps his fingers. His bodyguard, Tommy, steps forward. Tommy, take the Escalade. Lights if you have to. Get Dr. Moore here in 20 minutes. Yes, sir. The call ends. Anthony hands the phone back to Bella. Their eyes meet. For the first time, he really sees her. Not the help, not Rosa's daughter, but a person, an expert. Someone who knows things he doesn't. Thank you, he says quietly. Bella nods, turns back to Nicholas. His heart rate is climbing. 188 beats per minute. His blood pressure dropping, 85/50. We need to stabilize him while we wait, Bella says to Dr. Morrison. His heart can't sustain this rhythm much longer. Dr. Morrison looks at her, then at Anthony. Anthony nods. What do you suggest? Dr. Morrison asks. Start him on amiodarone, 150 milligrams IV push. It's an antiarrhythmic. It won't treat the parasite, but it'll help stabilize his heart rate until we can administer the benznidazole. A nurse looks uncertain. That's a cardiac medication, not an antiparasitic. The parasite is causing myocarditis, Bella explains patiently. Inflammation of the heart muscle. That's what's driving the tachycardia. If his heart fails before the medication arrives, the benznidazole won't matter. Dr. Morrison looks at Dr. Harrison. Dr. Harrison looks at the monitors, at Nicholas's deteriorating vital signs. He nods. Do it, Dr. Morrison orders. The nurse administers the amiodarone. They wait. 1 minute, 2, 3. Nicholas's heart rate begins to slow. 180, 175, 170. Not normal, but better. Buying time. Anthony collapses into a chair, puts his head in his hands. His shoulders shake. When he looks up, his eyes are red. How do you know all this? His voice breaks. Bella sits down beside him. The room full of doctors and nurses fades. For this moment, it's just her and a terrified father. Because I lived it, she says softly. Summer of 2019, Guatemala. I was 16, volunteering at a rural clinic. I went to sleep on a cot and I woke up with a small bite on my neck. I thought it was nothing. 48 hours later, I couldn't get out of bed. The fever came first, Then the heart pain. It felt like something was squeezing my chest. My mom tried to get me to a hospital, but we were in the middle of nowhere. The local doctor, Dr. Ramirez, took one look at me and knew. He'd seen Chagas before. He started treatment immediately. 6 weeks of benzonidazole, twice a day, every day. The side effects were terrible, nausea, headaches, rashes, but it worked. By week 8, the parasite was gone. I was lucky. I got treatment fast, and I made a promise to myself that day. What promise? Anthony asks. That no one else should die because no one recognized it. That I'd learn everything I could about these diseases. So that if I ever saw someone with these symptoms again, I'd know. I'd speak up. I'd help. Anthony stares at her. I thought you were just the help? Bella's voice is gentle. No accusation, just truth. Yes. Anthony looks away. I'm sorry. You're not the first. You won't be the last. My wife died 8 years ago, Anthony says suddenly. Cancer, pancreatic. She was 41. I took her to the best hospitals, the best doctors, specialists from around the world. I spent $3 million trying to save her life. He looks at Nicholas. It didn't matter. Money couldn't fix it. All those doctors, all that technology, and she died anyway. And tonight, watching my son dying, I thought the same thing was happening, that I was losing him because I couldn't buy the right answer. But the answer wasn't something you could buy, Bella says quietly. It was something someone had to survive first, to recognize, to share. Anthony nods, wipes his eyes. Nicholas is all I have left. He's better than me, kinder. He wants to build libraries for kids who have nothing. While I've spent my life taking, then let's make sure he gets the chance. At that moment, Rose enters the room. She carries a tray with coffee. Her hands shake slightly as she sets it down. When she looks up and sees Bella sitting beside Anthony, both of them monitoring Nicholas's vitals, tears stream down her face. Pride, disbelief, fear, hope, all at once. Rose approaches Anthony. Sir, you saved his life, Rose. Anthony stands. By speaking up, by breaking the rules, you saved my son. Rose shakes her head. No, sir. Bella saved him. I just opened the door. Anthony looks at both of them, mother and daughter. You both did. At 10:22, Tommy calls. Boss, 8 minutes out. Dr. Moore has the medication prepped. Nicholas's heart rate ticks up again, 196. Blood pressure drops to 82/48. Bella leans close to Nicholas, even though he can't hear her. 8 more minutes, Nicholas. Just hold on. Please. 8 minutes. That's all the time left between a father's pride and a father's grief. Doctor. Ellen Moore bursts through the door at 10:30 carrying a temperature-controlled medical cooler. She's 53, gray hair pulled back, still wearing the dress she wore to dinner. Where is he? She doesn't wait for introductions. Bella points to the bed. Dr. Moore sets down the cooler, opens it. Inside, packed in ice, are vials of benzonidazole. Nicholas weighs 70 kilograms, Bella says. We need 350 milligrams, first dose. Dr. Moore pulls out the vials, works fast, draws up the medication into a syringe. We'll administer it IV. It'll act faster than oral. She hands the syringe to the nurse. Establish a line, left arm. The nurse approaches Nicholas, searches for a vein, inserts the catheter. Nothing. The vein collapses. She tries again, right arm, same result. His veins are shutting down, Dr. Morrison says grimly. Peripheral circulation is failing. Dr. Harrison steps forward. We need a central line, subclavian or jugular. That's a 15-minute procedure, Dr. Moore counters. Sterile field, ultrasound guidance. He doesn't have 15 minutes. Bella's voice cuts through. She's staring at the monitors. Nicholas's heart rate is 201. Blood pressure 78/42. Anthony grabs her arm. You said you had the cure. We do. Bella's mind races. Think. We just need another way to deliver it. She turns to Dr. Moore. Can benzonidazole be administered via nasogastric tube? Dr. Moore blinks. Theoretically, yes. It's absorbed through the GI tract, but in a patient with acute cardiac crisis, his heart is failing, but his stomach still works. Bella speaks fast, the logic clicking into place. If we crush the tablets, dissolve them in sterile water, we can deliver the medication directly to his stomach through an NG tube. Absorption will be slower than IV, but it'll work. Dr. Morrison looks skeptical. That's extremely unorthodox. So is treating Chagas disease in Manhattan, Bella shoots back. Do we have an NG tube? They do. Dr. Morrison places it carefully. A thin tube through Nicholas's nose, down the esophagus, into the stomach. He confirms placement with a pH test strip. The paper turns deep red. pH 2.5. Stomach acid. They're in. Bella and Dr. Moore work together now. Mortar and pestle. 2 100-milligram tablets, 1 50-milligram. They crush carefully. Add 30 milliliters of sterile water. Mix until dissolved. Dr. Moore draws up the solution in a 60-milliliter syringe. Hands it to Bella. You should do it. Bella's hands shake. She forces them steady. Connects the syringe to the NG tube. 10 milliliters every 30 seconds, she says aloud, for herself, for everyone watching. Too fast and he'll vomit. Too slow and his heart might not make it. She pushes the plunger, slowly. Watching the monitors. 10 milliliters. Wait. 10 more. Wait. The room is silent except for the beeping of machines. Nicholas's heart rate, his blood pressure, his oxygen saturation, no immediate change. How long? Anthony asks. His voice is hollow. Benzonidazole doesn't work instantly, Bella explains without looking away from the syringe. It kills the parasite over hours. Days, really. But we should see cardiac improvement within 15 to 20 minutes. The medication will reduce the parasite load. That'll reduce the inflammation. His heart should stabilize. Should? Anthony latches onto the word. Bella meets his eyes. I can't promise anything, but this is his best chance, his only chance. She finishes administering the medication. 60 milliliters, 350 milligrams of benzonidazole now in Nicholas's stomach. They wait. Dr. Moore puts a hand on Bella's shoulder. You did good, kid. Whatever happens, you did everything right. At 10:52, the first change appears. Nicholas's heart rate drops. 193, 189, 184. His fever stabilizes, 41.0 degrees. Still dangerously high, but not climbing. Dr. Morrison checks the ECG. The rhythm is improving. QT interval is shortening. Bella closes her eyes, breathes, opens them. Come on, Nicholas, you can do this. They'd delivered the cure. Now they waited to see if they'd delivered it in time. At 10:58, the monitor flatlines. The sound is unmistakable. A single sustained tone. Ventricular fibrillation. Code blue, Dr. Morrison shouts. Dr. Harrison grabs the defibrillator, charges it. Clear! 200 joules of electricity surge through Nicholas's chest. His body convulses, lifts off the bed, drops. Nothing. Again. 300. Another shock. Another convulsion. This time, a weak pulse returns. 62 beats per minute. Too slow, but alive. Bella's legs give out. She sits hard on the floor, back against the wall. Rose appears beside her, slides down, takes her hand. At 11:02, Bella sees it. Wait, she says, standing, moving to the bedside, pointing at the monitors. His blood pressure is dropping again. Look, 85/48, now 82/44. Dr. Moore frowns. The benzonidazole should be stabilizing him. It is. Bella's mind works through the problem. This isn't the parasite anymore, this is die-off. Die-off? Anthony looks between them. Jarisch-Herxheimer reaction, Bella explains quickly. When you kill a large parasitic load rapidly, the dying organisms release toxins. His immune system is overreacting to the parasite debris. It's causing more inflammation, not less. Dr. Moore's eyes widen. You're right. We need to dampen his immune response. Dexamethasone, Bella says. 10 milligrams IV, a corticosteroid. It'll suppress the inflammatory cascade. Dr. Morrison doesn't wait for Anthony's approval this time. He administers the medication immediately. And dopamine, Bella adds, a low-dose drip, to support his blood pressure while the steroids take effect. They work in coordinated silence now. The hierarchies have dissolved. Bella stands among the doctors not as an intruder, but as a colleague, as an expert. At 11:06, Nicholas's temperature spikes again, 41.8 degrees Celsius, 107.2 Fahrenheit. That's brain damage territory, Dr. Harrison says grimly. Proteins start denaturing at 42 degrees. Ice packs, Bella says. Groin, armpits, neck. We have to cool him externally. Right now. A nurse rushes out, returns with ice packs wrapped in thin towels. Bella looks at Rose. Mom, help me! Rose moves without hesitation. They work together, placing ice packs, rotating them every 90 seconds as they warm, groin, armpits, sides of the neck. Nicholas's temperature begins to drop. 41.6, 41.3. Then, at 11:12, his limbs begin to jerk. Violent rhythmic spasms, his jaw clenches, his eyes roll back. Tonic-clonic seizure! Dr. Morrison moves to protect Nicholas's airway. Lorazepam, 4 milligrams IV, Bella says. Her voice is calm, steady. She's been here before. In a hospital bed in Guatemala, seizing, terrified, but alive. The medication goes in, the seizure continues. 90 seconds, it feels like 90 years. Then, as suddenly as it started, it stops. Nicholas goes limp. His breathing is ragged but present. Silence. Everyone watches the monitors, waiting for the next crisis, but slowly, impossibly, the numbers stabilize. Heart rate 118 beats per minute, still elevated but steady, not climbing. Blood pressure 94/58, low but improving. Oxygen saturation 92%, up from 88. Temperature 40.2 degrees, down from 41.8. Doctor. Morrison checks the ECG with shaking hands. The QT interval is shortening, his heart muscle is recovering. At 11:24, Nicholas's eyes flutter open. He looks confused, disoriented. His gaze drifts across the room, doctors, machines, his father. Then he sees Bella. Bella? His voice is hoarse, barely a whisper. You're still here? Bella moves to the bedside. Tears stream down her face. She doesn't bother hiding them. I'm still here, Nicholas. Just rest. What happened? You got sick, but you're going to be okay now. Nicholas tries to sit up. Dr. Morrison gently pushes him back down. Easy. You've been through a lot. Anthony appears on the other side of the bed. He takes his son's hand. His face is wet. You're okay, son. You're okay. Nicholas looks at his father, at Bella, at the room full of people. I don't understand. You will, Anthony says. Later. Right now, you just need to sleep. Dr. Moore administers a mild sedative. Nicholas's eyes close. His breathing deepens, steadies. At 11:30, Dr. Moore pulls Bella aside. You just managed an acute Chagas cardiac crisis better than most tropical disease specialists I know, she says quietly. That improvisation with the nasogastric tube? That should be in medical journals. Bella shakes her head. I just remembered my own treatment, and I've read every case study published in the last 6 years. That's what makes you different. Dr. Moore's voice is fierce with pride. You didn't just study it academically, you survived it. You turned trauma into expertise. That's the mark of a great scientist, Bella. Anthony approaches. He looks 10 years older than he did 4 hours ago. I don't know how to thank you. You don't have to. Yes, I do. Anthony's voice is firm. Most people in your position wouldn't have spoken up. My arrogance almost cost my son's life. My prejudice almost silenced the one person who could save him. He pauses, takes a breath. What's your tuition at Cornell? Bella blinks. Sir, your tuition. How much do you owe? About $35,000 for my master's program. Consider it paid, all of it, and your mother, Rose. She's retiring with a full pension, $3,000 a month for life. You've both earned it. Both of you saved Nicholas tonight. Bella can't speak. The words won't come. And one more thing, Anthony continues. You finish that degree. You get your PhD. You go work for CDC or WHO or wherever you want, and you keep saving lives, because the world needs people like you, people who see what others miss, people who speak up when it matters. Bella finds her voice. I will. I promise. Rose appears beside her daughter, wraps an arm around her shoulders. They stand there, mother and daughter, in a room full of expensive machines and expensive doctors, and for once, they are not invisible. They are seen, they are valued, they are heard. The boy who almost died would live, and the girl who saved him would never be invisible again. 3 days later, Nicholas sits up in his hospital bed at New York Presbyterian. Color has returned to his face. The petechial rash is fading. His heart rate holds steady at 85 beats per minute. Normal, healthy, alive. Bella visits in the afternoon. She brings a textbook. Tropical Entomology, a field guide. Nicholas sees it and groans. You brought me homework? Bella laughs. It's the first time she's laughed in days. I brought you the thing that saved your life. Page 343. Nicholas takes the book, flips to the page. There's a photograph. A dark brown insect, about an inch long, cone-shaped head, distinctive markings, Triatoma infestans, the kissing bug. That little thing almost killed me, Nicholas says quietly. Yes. How does something so small? Knowledge, Bella interrupts gently. Knowledge is power. Now you know. Now you'll recognize the signs. And maybe someday you'll help someone else. Nicholas looks at her. Is that why you do this? Study bugs? Because you almost died? Partly. Bella sits in the chair beside his bed. But also because I realized something that summer in Guatemala. The doctor who saved me, Dr. Ramirez, he knew what I had because he'd seen it before. Because he paid attention. Because he cared about people everyone else forgot. I want to be like that, Nicholas says suddenly. You already are. No. Nicholas shakes his head. I mean, I want to help people, really help, not just write checks. My dad is donating money to your department at Cornell, $200,000. That's great, but I want to do more than just have money. I want to have knowledge, skills, the ability to save someone the way you saved me. Bella studies him. What are you saying? I'm changing my major, pre-med, with a focus on infectious diseases and tropical medicine. Bella's eyes widen. Nicholas, you don't have to do that because of me. I'm not doing it because of you. I'm doing it because you showed me something I never understood before, that saving one life changes everything, for that person, for their family, for everyone connected to them. You didn't just save me, you saved my dad from losing his only son. You saved all the kids I might help someday, all the buildings I might design, all the good I might do. That's the math of saving lives. It multiplies. Bella can't speak. She just nods. 1 week later at the Sullivan estate, Bella watches as professional pest control technicians in hazmat suits fumigate the conservatory. Anthony stands beside her. They found 12 of them, he says. 12 kissing bugs, hidden in the soil, under leaves, in the drainage trays. We had a tropical killer living in our house for 3 months. At least now you know. I've also hired an entomologist, Anthony continues, full-time consultant. Every plant shipment will be inspected before it enters any of my properties. This will never happen again. He turns to Bella. And I want to do something else. I'm establishing a fund, $200,000 to Cornell's entomology department, in your name, for research on vector-borne tropical diseases in non-endemic regions. Mr. Sullivan, it's not enough, Anthony interrupts, but it's a start. You open my eyes, Bella, not just to bugs, but to people, to the idea that the most important knowledge doesn't always come from the most expected places. 2 weeks later, Bella stands in front of a committee of 4 professors at Cornell. Her thesis presentation lasts 45 minutes. She presents data, case studies, projections. She includes Nicholas's case, anonymized, as a real-world example of how kissing bugs are establishing populations in the United States through imported plant materials. When she finishes, the room is silent. Then Dr. Moore stands, begins clapping. The other professors join, a standing ovation. Her thesis receives the highest possible grade. She's invited to present at the American Society of Tropical Medicine Conference in March. Her research is being fast-tracked for publication. After the defense, Dr. Moore pulls her aside. You're not just a researcher anymore, Bella. You're a pioneer. This work will change protocols. It'll save lives. 1 month later, Anthony makes Bella an offer. Biological safety consultant, he says. $85,000 a year. You'd review all of my business operations. Make sure nothing dangerous slips through. You'd have full authority, full access. Bella considers it. The money would change her life, pay off her debts, buy her mother a house. But she knows her answer before he finishes speaking. I appreciate the offer, Mr. Sullivan, I really do. But I'm pursuing my PhD. After that, I want to work for CDC or WHO. I want to go to the places where Chagas is endemic, where people die because they don't have access to treatment. I want to help them. Anthony nods slowly. You're like my son. You want to build, not just profit. Something like that. Then the offer stands. Anytime you need funding for field work, research expenses, anything, you call me. You're family now, Bella. At Rose's retirement party held in the Sullivan Estate garden, 50 people gather. Staff, friends, family. Anthony gives a speech. Rose Smith has worked for my family for 18 years. In that time, she never complained, never caused trouble, never asked for anything. But on one night, she asked for 2 minutes, and those 2 minutes saved my son's life. He turns to Rose. You taught me something that night. That courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it's a woman on her knees asking a man to listen. You broke every rule. You challenged me. You were right. That took more bravery than anything I've ever done. Rose accepts a plaque. A pension. The gratitude of a family that will never forget. But when the speeches are done and the crowd disperses, Rose finds Bella standing alone. "I cleaned houses so you could fill your head with dreams," Rose says softly. "Tonight I watched you make every sacrifice worth it." Bella hugs her mother. "You taught me when to be invisible and when to be seen. That's the most important lesson anyone ever taught me." One night changed 3 lives. The boy who lived, the father who learned, and the girl who proved invisible people see the most. 6 months later. Bella stands in a rural clinic in Honduras. The air is thick with humidity. The tin roof amplifies the sound of rain. She's here on a research grant, $50,000. The first field work of her PhD program, she's teaching local health workers how to identify kissing bug bites, how to recognize early symptoms of Chagas, how to save lives. Back in New York, Rose Smith travels. For the first time in her life, she has the freedom to see the world beyond someone else's kitchen. She sends postcards. Spain, Morocco, Japan. Nicholas Sullivan thrives at Princeton. Pre-med. He's top of his class in microbiology. He volunteers at a free clinic in Trenton every Saturday. He's already talking about Doctors Without Borders, about going to places where medicine matters most. Anthony Sullivan quietly funds tropical disease research at 3 universities. He's become an advocate for imported plant inspection protocols. His business practices have changed, slowly, imperfectly, but changed. And sometimes, late at night, he sits in his study and thinks about the moment he almost lost everything. The moment a woman who'd served him for 18 years had to kneel and beg him to listen. He thinks about what he learned, that the people he ignored might know things he desperately needs, that respect isn't about money or power. It's about recognizing expertise wherever it lives. People ask Bella what it was like that night. She tells them it was terrifying and clarifying. For 22 years, she lived in the margins, the help's daughter, the scholarship kid, the girl who studied bugs while everyone else studied business or law. But that night taught her that expertise doesn't wear a suit. Knowledge doesn't care about your last name. And sometimes the person everyone ignores is the person everyone needs. Nicholas lived because Bella spoke up, but Bella spoke up because Rose taught her. Stay humble, but never silent when it matters. There are Bellas everywhere. Janitors who know engineering, waitresses who know medicine, people the world overlooks until crisis hits. And there are Anthonys everywhere, too. People who need to learn that respect isn't about where you sit. It's about what you know, and whether you use it to help. That night, a kissing bug taught them all something. The smallest creatures can topple empires, and the quietest voices can save lives. If this story reminded you to listen closer, to look deeper, to respect the expertise around you, share it. Someone needs to hear it. And if you'd like more stories about people who changed the world quietly, subscribe. I'll keep telling them.